In this video, we're going to be taking a piece of vegetable tanned leather, printing a wood pattern onto it, and making a small 3-slot card holder. Hi guys and welcome, my name is James, and lately I've been playing around with 3D printing and seeing how it can change the way I approach my leather work. I've been curious about printing patterns onto leather and want to try this out today. First though, I need to cut out my different pieces of leather. It's a very simple design and the outside piece will be the only one with the wood pattern print on it. I want to make sure that my leather is fully soaked to ensure that the fibres form well bond to the pattern as best as possible. I then carefully place the leather onto the pattern plate and slide it into the press. I have the press set up so that it actually clicks into place sort of, and holds the piece under a maximum amount of pressure. In our case it's about 1.5 tons of pressure. After leaving it to dry in the press overnight, I have to say I am simply blown away by the depth that this method has achieved, and I can't wait to play with this method of printing more. Using different shades of dye, I want to try and mimic the effect of wood with layers of light and dark brown dyes. While at first it's going on quite blotchy, the final result will be much more uniform. In this case, as it is more and more, I find that I have to remind myself just to trust the process. Once I'm sort of happy with the dye job, I now want to apply some brown polish. This polish is full of pigments and will help seal the dyes into the leather while evening out the colour. I'm not sure about adding in the black, but I am curious to see how it can darken the high spots a bit more, maybe using light brushstrokes across the piece. At this point I really feel like the best approach would have been to use leather antiquing instead of the extra wax polishes. That will have to be for a future test. Finally, I like to finish things up with a clear coat of wax, just to give it a bit more protection and a lot more shine. We can now go ahead and bevel the edge, starting on the back flesh side. I'll dye the edge and burnish it using Tokonol. This is the best burnishing agent I've ever tested, and I do recommend grabbing a pot if you've never tried it. Let's put aside the patterned piece for now and concentrate on the two centerpieces. Again, I'm using my 3D printed template to cut these out. Then I can go ahead and bevel the top edge and burnish it using Tokonol and a 100% cotton rag. Here's the result with my logo stamped onto each. If you're curious about 3D printing your own logo, I have a video about that on my channel, linked below. I'm using the same Sapphire clear wax to protect the leather and give it some shine. We can now go ahead and glue up the internal pocket. While it's not necessary to use a strong glue here, I still like to use neoprene cement glue for maximum durability. Hey, this is looking good. As I fold the outer piece, I start seeing some discoloration in the fold. This is normal, and it's due to the pigments in the leather being stretched out. I carefully remove a very thin slice of the top of the leather from my inner pockets, just to give the glue some better access to the fibers and help it bond. I like to leave a bit of extra room on the edges so I can trim them flush. This is called adding an edge allowance and allows you to always get a clean looking straight edge on your piece. I'm ready to start the stitching process, first with a line traced at 3mm from the edge. Here I'm using Crimson Hide stitching irons in the 3.38mm French tip sizing. The French tip refers to the holes being slants, not diamonds. Getting out my box of threads always makes me happy, a bit like a child in a candy store. I'm looking for a subtle contrast that will look good both on the naked leather and on the dark wood-coloured leather. I think this Maisie linen thread will do the trick. A quick backstitch to get things started, and off we go. We'll stitch this up, address the final edges, and look at the final result. Overall, I think I'm happy. Not over the moon happy, but delighted that my technique has worked. I can already see a few things I would like to improve upon, such as printing the pattern face down on the smooth printing plate in my 3D printer, using leather antiquing instead of dye, not adding extra dark waxes after the dye, and more. But looking at this card holder, I am mostly very curious to see what I can print next. What do you guys want to see me print? Thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video, I hope you've learned something, and I hope to see you very soon for some more crafting.